Nikita, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm very excited to have you here today. Now, I have so many people, including my girls in the salon, my daughters and their friends, who are low-key fangirly.
Stop.
About the fact that you're here on my couch today. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I'm officially a cool mum because you have made the drive to be on my podcast. So they are very excited and they can't wait to listen to what we talk about. And I don't know, I've got goosebumps. This is really weird, but
I just got them too.
That's really cute. I'm really honoured and I feel very grateful. Like you just said, it took you an hour and a half to get here. Like, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And like even leaving the salon last night, a couple of the girls were like, oh my God, like
that is so
it's
cute.
So exciting that she's coming. So very grateful. And I just wanted to really share that with you.
Thank you.
As you know, I'm a business coach and this podcast, Rebrand, is all about being more intentional. And that comes with the questions that I'm going to ask you today.
Yeah.
So the stories that you will share, the lessons that we can teach together. Mm-hmm. So let's keep it real. I'm a hairdresser just like you, and I get super excited to talk, which I spoke to you about before the podcast. Sometimes we can go off on different paths.
Yeah.
So we have Alicia here to help produce the podcast, and she is going to signal us if we go off track. So I just thought I'd share that with the listeners out there that we had a little bit of a giggle before you got here and said, let's just not go on like a little keep it super intentional. And I've written down some really cool questions along with Alicia's help. So let's get into it if you're ready.
Sure.
Welcome to Beyond the Name with me, Casey Lee. This is a podcast for business owners presented by a multi-business owner. This podcast is all about having real conversations with business owners and people in power, answering questions and offering advice you never knew you needed. Beyond the Name connects you to the people behind the brand you see every day, the decisions you didn't know you needed to make. If you are sick of second-guessing your growth and are ready to understand how experienced business owners actually think, then this is the podcast for you. Okay, so in case nobody knows you or knows what you're about, can you please give us a quick rundown on who you are?
Yeah, of course. So I am a hairdresser and I've been hairdressing now. I've been in the hair industry for 13 years. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Amazing.
Yeah.
So let's go a little bit deeper. If somebody who doesn't know anything about you, what would the things that you would say to sort of introduce yourself beyond being a hairdresser?
God, that is actually a really good question because I literally just think of myself as I am just a hairdresser.
Oh, good. Which that's also amazing, but
yeah. I think like I don't know, like I am just a hairdresser. Now that you just say it,
you're okay. That's
how I view
okay.
myself. That's how I view myself. Is I literally am just a hairdresser.
Okay, amazing. Well, we've got some questions.
That's kind of boring.
No, it's definitely not. We've got some questions that we can dive into to get a little bit more out of that because you have a huge audience, right? You have an army of women and teenagers that fiercely love you.
Yeah, which I think is just wild because it's like, I know I have like a big following on social media and stuff like that, but it's not about that for me. Like I just post like whatever I want. So it's like, it's just crazy to see or even hear that, you know, so many girls like look up to me and they know who I am because it's like.
Beyond just being a hairdresser.
Yeah.
Because if I was to like name drop you or say you're on my podcast and like talk about you in general, like being a hairdresser would be probably a very small amount of what people would see your brand as.
Yeah, of course.
So anyway, let's dive into some more questions. I have my own brand in which is my name, face, and like you, it is very inseparable from my brand. and my salon, everything like that, my face and my name is very much it. So knowing the importance of being intentional with your branding, what exact parts of your brand were placed on purpose, and was there any branding that just come naturally? So talking about branding, meaning how you turn up as Nikita, but also your business and how that's fit in as well with your brand. So beyond just hairdressing.
I think me personally is just me being authentically myself. Like, what you see is what you get. Like, I don't change for anyone. So I think people definitely, they like that. And I think a lot of people do look up to that. I think that also comes into brand as, you know, that's just who I am. That's Nikita Anne, you know.
I think a lot of people don't realize the importance of just being authentic.
100%.
Whether people love you or hate you.
Yeah. And I think, but that didn't just, you know, like that hasn't always been me. You know, I have been, you know, that person that was shy. And I think, I'd had enough one day and I'm like, I'm sick of being a people pleaser. Like, I wanted to show up as myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just the world see you for who you are.
Yeah.
Someone on my podcast once told me that people should either love you or hate you. Like, it's worse to be irrelevant.
100%.
Right? Like, to put yourself out there, show the authentic you, and you'll get hate, which anybody with an online presence does.
Yeah.
But you'll also have an army of people that can relate to you and that want to support you and can see themselves in you. And that is the importance, I think, of really turning up and being vulnerable and being authentic. And the brand sometimes isn't intentional, but it can just naturally happen from being yourself. Is that what you feel like happened with you?
It did just happen, yeah. A lot of people know me from Coco.
Which, for people who aren't listening, would you like to tell them what that is?
Yeah, of course. So I worked for a place called Coco Hair & Co. And I was there for...
As a senior hairdresser?
As a senior hairdresser, yeah. I was there for about for almost 5 years. And I started at Coco Hair & Co. when I first moved to Melbourne.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you moved interstate and that's the first place you've been. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you still have a really good connection with those girls.
Oh, absolutely. I'm there like every week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And I call Em all the time, like, because she's younger than me, but I look up to her, you know, because she's so
super cool.
And she's so cool. But yeah, I was there for about 2 years and then I left and I went to another salon. And I was there for I was there for probably like 6 months. And Emily and Jimmy had asked me so many times while I was at that salon, if I would consider coming back.
Yeah.
But just because of personal reasons, I couldn't go back.
Yeah.
And then I think for me, it was like, you know what? I'm sick of just being just a hairdresser. Yeah. And that's like no shade on the other place or anything like that, but
or anybody else there that
100%
in that moment in their life.
100%. I think for me it was just like I don't just want to be just a hairdresser anymore. Like I want to be more than that. And that was when I went back to Jimmy and Emily and I was like, all right, I'm ready. Like let's take Coco to the next level.
And after today's podcast, there's going to be a language shift for when I say who is Nikita. It's not going to be, I'm just a hairdresser anymore.
100%.
after this little chat.
Yeah, because now, I don't know, like, I think on the spot when you ask me, like, who are you? And it's like, just a hairdresser.
Yeah.
You know?
You probably never actually thought, oh, well, who am I?
No.
It's a really good question that a lot of people don't ask.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think it's also, like, you don't get told all the time, like, what, you know, people, I don't know, like, think of you, kind of receive you.
Yeah. Well, not the good anyway.
Well, no.
No, not as many people with forthcoming.
Yeah, no, not. But yeah, so that was kind of the pivotal point in my whole career.
And then we've gone back to Coco, and then we've been there for quite a few years, and then we've recently moved and gone out on our own.
Yeah.
Amazing. So moving out of that salon and rebranding, for away from Coco and into Nikita Anne Hair. What has required letting go of that familiarity? What did you have to release identity-wise or professionally to step fully into that new you and that new brand and going out on your own?
I think that's a good question because I think when we first announced that I was leaving Coco, people were like, oh, it's because, you know, they've had a big fight. And it's like, no, like that's not the reason why.
Everybody loves a juicy story.
Yeah, like it was posted on Tea Time. So like even before I had even announced I was leaving Coco, because I was going through a whole identity crisis. Like I was, you know, about to turn 30. And I think for me, that was like, what am I doing with my life? Like, you know, and where do I want to get to where I want to be? So I deleted all social media. Like I was going through a full like mental health thing. I deleted all my social media and
I know, obviously,
on
owner of
time, like 40 minutes later of me deleting all my social media, being like, Nikita must have like had a big fight with Coco, like she's deleted all her social media, and I'm like, what the hell?
that's awful.
So
It's
yeah,
awful for both sides, isn't it?
It's-
Really, because
yeah.
I know Em took it really hard. I actually haven't put anything in my notes to talk about Coco because I did
Yeah.
want to keep you quite separate, but
Yeah.
I thought it might naturally come up.
Yeah.
But like from somebody that knew Em, I hadn't really met you personally yet, but felt like I sort of knew a lot through,
Yeah.
honestly, my kids.
Yeah.
My kids were very much involved
Yeah.
in that because they're TikTokers.
Yeah.
They're 14 and 15, so they know all the goss.
Yeah.
And just to watch it unfold as a business owner, I was like, this is like fucked, right?
100%.
Because people are just attaching their own, and I didn't know the story, their own narrative, their own story, and like they don't realize that these comments and these rumors and this hate literally destroy people's lives and well-being
100%.
and all of that.
Yeah, I did basically have to comment on the Tea Time post and be like, look, just give me some privacy. Like, I'm just going through a lot of mental health stuff, and this isn't okay to just go out and make assumptions about something you know nothing about.
And also, doesn't every single person, not every single person, I'm going to take that back, that's universal. Isn't it very common that people hit a point in their career and they go, I want to change? Does that
100%.
that doesn't always mean it's because the last place I worked at was toxic or I didn't like
Yeah.
it. Sometimes it's just, okay, it's time for me to grow. And that's just
Yeah.
okay
Yeah.
within that.
Yeah.
Since you brought up Tea Time, I've actually seen you talk about your responses to the online negativity. I'm sorry to bring this up. The criticism, the hate, which is something that I'm navigating as my business grows more and my posts go viral, but nothing to the extent of some stuff that I heard, seen, been told about you. Some of the
Yeah.
things is pretty awful. Since you are completely authentic online, how do you separate that hate with your mental health and who you truly believe who you are? And what are some major lessons that you have learned from those experiences?
I think for me personally, there's the way that I see it, if people have to go and post you online, it's mainly because if they talk about themselves, no one cares. So of course they're going to have to go and speak about someone that they know, like that everyone knows. Do you know what I mean? That everyone's going to, you know, interact with it or want to know the tea. But like 9 times out of 10, it's not actually tea, and what the other person's talking about is just not true.
Yeah.
So I think like mentally it's like, I know the truth. You weren't in that situation. So it's like, why would I care about what you're saying, essentially? Like you don't know anything about me.
So have you got that mindset?
Yeah.
I know it can't be 100% because we're all still human a lot of the time.
Sometimes it is hard not to just hit back and be like, you know, be petty.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
I think that's where we
5 seconds
that's
of
where you
like,
start,
all
right?
Like, I'm just going to be petty.
You start
But
with the
then-
pettiness and then you learn to build resilience and then you learn to
Yeah.
block the noise and
Yeah, I think it all comes down to like just changing your mindset, essentially. Like, you know who you are, and that's all that matters. Like, who cares about what other people think of you?
Can you share quickly with everybody listening, because I recently only found this out, what is Tea Time?
Tea Time it's like a page where you can post anonymously.
Of course.
Yeah. And you have to be a female to be approved.
Is it like a forum?
Like
a
it's
Facebook?
on
Like, what's it
Facebook.
like?
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Oh, it's on Facebook tea
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Is it like a buy swap and like a group and you get it?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew it was on
Yeah.
Facebook. I thought it was like some sort of website or forum or something.
But like people will just post like nonsense stuff on there.
Yeah, I had heard from other people that have sat on my couch some things that they've read about themselves on there, and I was like, yeah, that
You
sounds
just
awful.
sometimes you can't help but laugh because it's like, what is this person talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it'd be hard if they start to
Yeah.
attack your character as well. Do you have one big lesson that you've learned having experienced this that you would pass on to another business owner struggling with online criticism? So even like, say me that's growing, like I've recently hit 50,000 followers on Instagram. I am starting to try and turn up on TikTok because I know that's where all the kids are. But I'm not going to lie, like it still has it in my back of my mind. And there's something going on with a really huge influencer in the hair industry right now. I've spoken to them this morning and last night. And it just gives me that resistance thinking. And I have seen some stuff about you. There's like fake AI videos, and all the fun jazz.
Yeah.
And I still think I've got that tiny bit of resistance because I'm like, oh, for my own well-being, for my kids, and like seeing it and like the ripple effect. So have you got any advice?
Yeah, definitely. Be yourself. And I think you're always going to get hate, but at the end of the day, like people still want to see your content. So just who cares? Who cares what other people are saying? Or, you know, you are going to feel bothered when, you know, I know when the AI stuff got made about me, it bothered me.
That was
but
weird.
then it was like,
That was creepy.
and then it just got like funny because I'm like, this is pathetic. And it's like, that obviously shows the type of person that they are, you know? So I think, just try and change your mindset of, you know, I'm scared of what people are going to think about me because, you know.
So, wow, I'm that important that these people are spending.
They're wasting their time.
Their time,
doing
their
that.
valuable time
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just pathetic. But yeah, I think just who cares? Literally, who cares what other people think of you?
That's great. As a more positive result of your online attention and success, you've worked with some really cool external brands that aren't a part of the hair industry. How do you personally decide whether a collaboration strengthens your personal brand, works with you, feels aligned, all the things?
I think I'm very picky with who I do collaborate with. Like I won't just collaborate with anyone. I do get a lot of brands like reach out and stuff like that. But it also comes down to a time thing as well, because that like collaborating, that is working and it takes time.
I don't think people often realize that anybody that is influential or have a platform, again, with that saga that's going on at the moment, realize that it is a job still at the end of the day
100%.
and a paid job. Like collaborations a lot of the time are paid, and it's not just as simple as being a post. Like it's got to be authentic. You've got to do market research. You've got to know your thing. You've got to nail the brief. You know, you've got deliverables.
Yeah.
It isn't as simple as people think. That influencers or people with authority, they don't work.
Yeah, 100%. But I think I will only really collab with brands that I know.
Believe in.
Yeah, and that just do align with me.
Yeah, which is super cool. And just want to say I'm feeling very grateful again that you're here on my couch because, as you said, time is very valuable.
Yeah.
And you have taken the time to come here.
Yeah.
You don't get anything out of this in such as money or finances or anything like that. So I'm very grateful that you've come here to share your story with everybody. It's honestly so important to have to make decisions about brand collaborations. Looking back, what are other branding decisions do you believe had the greatest long-term impact? Even if it didn't feel significant at the time? Like, was there a point in your career that potentially a brand reached out to you? Have you experienced anything like this yet? Or would you like to share with everybody that you were on a billboard, weren't you?
Yeah, which is crazy on Chapel Street.
I'm just a hairdresser. Would you like to share with everyone listening what I know and they might not?
Yeah, so I was on a billboard on Chapel Street and
just no big deal.
Yeah. No biggie.
No big.
I worked with a brand called Molyneux and I felt like their brand just really resonated with me. Like it was just me, you know.
When I seen it, I was like, is this one of those like AI things where she's like photoshopped herself on the
No.
billboard?
No.
And then I was like,
It was
I
real.
don't think this is real. This is
Yeah.
fucking cool.
And it was so last minute too. Like they messaged me at like in the morning and they're like, do you think you can have photos for me by the end of the night so that we can send them in? And I'm like, oh my God.
No
Like,
pressure.
not really, but like, okay. So I worked a late night. So I worked until about 9:30 and then I had to quickly go to the go home.
At that point, did you know it was for the billboard?
Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah. And a really good friend of mine actually helped me shoot it. So like I was super comfortable
I'm
with
going to
it.
make this work.
Yeah. So I think like that for me was like a pretty cool thing with like working with collaborations and stuff like that, because people were just seeing my face on up and down.
And also like, wow, all this hard work of building my online presence. This is physical proof that this is feedback that, you know, what I'm doing is working and that people are recognizing me and people are enjoying me and that I am valuable and I'm worthy and all of the things that,
Absolutely,
you know, sometimes can play out for us women or business owners or hairdressers and all of that. So when you first started setting up your personal brand to get to that point of a collaboration to that extent, what were some of the pillars of yourself? Because at that time you didn't own your own business, did you? So you were a part of a business and that was given to you, correct me if I'm wrong, through building your own personal brand on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think definitely, obviously I was working at Coco, but then I did make my own TikTok and just, I think that's where like I really blew up on TikTok, because a lot of people, like if you have a look at my TikTok, essentially it's basically like, I post anything in between of like trauma and, you know, stuff like that. So, I think that was definitely an important part of doing that whole personal branding, was making sure that I had my own identity within that salon.
Yeah. Is there anything that you feel comfortable sharing with the audience today that you may not have shared already with the world, that you feel like would be an important part for people to understand who you are deeper than Nikita Anne Hair or Nikita Anne the TikToker or Nikita the Instagram girl? Is there something that you think, I've never shared this and I would love to open this conversation up on this podcast to let people understand who I am more as a person? Or does that not feel safe for you right now?
No, it's completely fine in terms of like traumas and stuff like that.
Anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be trauma.
Yeah. I think basically I
don't know personally your trauma story.
Yeah. I think like I am who I am because of all the trauma that I've been through in my life.
Yeah.
I think in the beginning of my adult life, you know, I was dating just very, very toxic men.
Yeah.
That basically were handing me the life that I wanted. And then when I think my last toxic relationship.
So do you feel like you stayed because you're like, I've got this lifestyle, but it wasn't actually a healthy relationship?
But I think it was like cool. Like I thought it was cool to just date those like bad boys.
Yeah. I see this actually play a lot out in a lot of my clients in the salon. Like I don't know your story, but like they might be a mistress of a bikie and this and this. And they come in, their boyfriend pays for their hair extensions or they've got a new bag. And I'm like, their wife and kids.
That was me, essentially.
I was wondering if that's where you're going with it.
Yeah.
It's actually more common than what I thought.
Absolutely. But then I think like once you just hit a point in your life and you're just like, I don't want that life anymore. So I think it was literally I had to do like a whole identity change. And I think a lot of people still think I'm that girl.
Okay.
And it's like, no, like I've just, you know, people can say that, like they don't, like people don't change. And it's like, yes, they do.
Oh, so much. Yeah. Everybody changes. I'm nowhere near the same person I was 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah. But I think definitely people still are more stuck in who I was back then.
The people that probably haven't been able to change and grow and evolve themselves.
But I think they also don't see the sacrifices I've had to make to get to where I am today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what sort of sacrifices do you feel like, what was the most important sacrifice that you had to make to get there?
I definitely think my last toxic relationship, that was probably one of the hardest relationships to leave, just because I was so in love with them.
Yeah.
So I think
Were you in love with them or in love with the thought of what you had?
no, I definitely was in love. I think I was in love with who they were in the beginning, like the
Yeah.
old
And the 10%.
person. Yeah, like
Those moments where you're like, oh,
yeah.
made me feel like special. And
Yeah, so I think that for me, like when I left that relationship, it was like I want to build a life for myself that, you know, that I'm not getting handed to me, that like it's mine. This is, my life that I've built for myself.
And you want someone with you to support that.
Absolutely.
And to be a partnership rather than what you're saying is obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. Do you have one piece of advice for people who want to show up online and start being vulnerable, just like you do and like what you have been today on the couch?
I definitely, posting my trauma online for me has been a big part of people relating to me. Because,
I was going to say.
Yeah, especially with a few years, probably 5-6 years ago now, my little brother died.
Yeah.
And he drowned in our family.
Thank you for sharing. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, so he drowned in our family pool. And it literally tore my whole family apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
I've experienced similar where a child, my cousin, died at a very, very young age. And my family has never recovered either.
100%. And you don't. Like, my mum still isn't like the same person who they were.
Absolutely.
Who she was. Yeah. So I think like posting my trauma online, it also helps other people that, you can still have a life for yourself within that trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's beauty in a way of sharing that and having people feel seen and not isolated and alone. I'm getting goosebumps again because I'm very much in love with that space, with a lot of trauma that I've been through. And I started my coaching actually to help women with trauma and anxiety and overwhelm and all of the things, but naturally business coaching and social media and that has just come to it. But I'm very passionate about that space. And I think when I have conversations with so many people that have experienced something like you're almost up there with, not almost up there, you're up there with like one of the best things that can happen. That I personally feel. And it's just comforting in a way to be looking, I guess, at somebody like yourself that people would view as successful and attractive and all these things and feel seen in that, right? When they're at their lowest of lows or they're at their breaking point and they're thinking, fuck, I'm in this black hole and I just can't get over the goosebumps with me today. I just can't move past this ever. Like, how can my life go on? And also having trauma yourself while navigating all the people around you having a trauma, right? Because you didn't only get to navigate that on your own. You've had to navigate that as a whole and be understanding on how that's working with everyone else. So to be sharing that with an open community is something special. And I think when I've shared little snippets of parts of my life, that is the main reason people like being in my world, because they do feel seen and they feel not isolated, and I'm not alone, because it is a very lonely, very, very lonely space to be in. So thank you so much for speaking for those people and having a voice and opening up about that. Are there any moments that trauma has positively impacted your decision making with resilience in your business?
Definitely. I think that basically lives with me like every day, because I live for, things that he's not going to be able to do when he's older, So I think that impacts my life and how I live my life every single day, and how important family is to me. Especially, I've got a partner now, and, I'm really, really close with his family. So I think like, it does change your mindset a little bit as to what are really important to you. So I definitely think
values.
within my business that is important to me, like that I resonate with a lot of, you know, clients and stuff like that. You know, I can be there for them, that kind of thing. So,
and I was actually explaining to Alicia last night, we got quite deep. She's probably going to be starting to be like, wrap it up. But I'm so passionate. I could just sit here with you all day. But we got quite deep into it. And I said to her as well, clients can say something that would shake a lot of hairdressers or make them feel uncomfortable. And someone like me and someone like you, I'm going to speak for you, correct me if I'm wrong, can just hold space for it. And it doesn't make me feel uncomfortable. It doesn't matter how fucking fucked up you are, how bad your trauma is, how anything that's happened to you, it would not make me feel uncomfortable. I can completely hold space for you and feel it all deep in my soul on a just whole nother level. And it's been something that my staff have said to me often, like, how are you not just like totally taken back by that comment they just made? Like you just looked like it didn't even move you. And I feel like you'd be very similar to that.
100%. Yeah. I definitely, because you can relate to them, I think, in a sense, but then it's also like you can give them advice. Like I can sit and talk to my clients for hours and give them advice on, you know, certain things.
And I think that a lot of people feel uncomfortable when someone says something. Like people would feel uncomfortable potentially with what you just said to me, as clients in the salon often feel like that's a safe space and in a way, not the right word, but can dump everything on you. And you are safety for them because that would never make you feel uncomfortable because you have been through the pits.
100%. Yeah.
Probably over and over again, right? And you can just be like, I'm totally cool with this. I can hold space and I feel safe. You feel safe and nothing can make me feel uncomfortable around you. Yeah. There's a lot of the response. Like people sometimes apologize for feeling or experiencing.
But then they're also like apologizing for literally just trauma dumping on you. And like, no, like please don't apologize. If you feel comfortable enough to be able to come to me and speak to me about it, please like do so. Like do that, because really, who else are you going to talk to if you don't feel comfortable talking to anyone else?
Yeah, that's incredible. And thank you for sharing that part. Community and support is so important to having business, but for people who don't have that, can you offer some advice about one action that you think people should take today so they can confidently get comfortable connecting and networking in their business?
I definitely think trying to form good friendships with people who are kind of in the similar sort of industry, I think is good. I know for me personally, Emily and Jamil, they are definitely someone that I love networking with. So I think, you know, try and make a friend with someone at your work. So I think that you guys can just, I don't know, like, not like talk shit, but like vent to each other about things.
Life.
Yeah.
Everyone needs that person, right?
Yeah. Even, you know, with social media, because it is a massive thing. So I think even just trying to get on social media, it's like someone starts somewhere. I started with 0 followers at one point. So
I know, I think everyone forgets often. Everyone started at the bottom. Everyone started with 0. And this year I'm heavily focusing on, and I really went into it last year, is networking and reaching out to people and like reaching out to you. What's the worst thing you're going to say? No, right? Like getting uncomfortable with rejection and putting myself out there. And I have, in the last 6 months to a year, made so many more friendships than I could ever imagine with people in the industry. And I'm continuing to grow that and beyond the industry. And I'm heavily focusing this year on that and connecting people. And I think it's just so important, and listening to people's stories, because people only see snippets of what we choose to put online. And although we think we are authentic and we do overshare, people are only getting a perfectly curated version of, you know, cool, I might be vulnerable and posting about my trauma, but I'm still being intentional with what parts I'm sharing and all of those. Yeah. Is there one lesson you wish someone had told you when you first started, A, your social media, and then B, recently going out on your own? So say I had an apprentice in the salon, or there's someone out there that's resisting, maybe they're on Instagram and not on TikTok. Like, is there one lesson that you think, I wish someone just told me this, Nikita. But
Yeah. I mean, I
rather than learning over time or the hard way, like,
yeah, 100%. I definitely think just start that social media, just post whatever you want to post because people want to see you, and they want to see your personality and everything like that. So, I think just be authentic with yourself. But also, if you don't risk it, you're never going to know. So just take that risk. Yeah.
and I think people often say to me as well is, oh, but no one cares what I've got to say. Well, yeah, people do.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be an audience for everybody, and there's going to be somebody out there that relates to you and that is interested, whatever your life looks like.
100%.
Everybody is uniquely themselves.
Yeah.
And everybody has their own journey, their story. So I agree. I think just start
Yeah.
and pick some pillars that you want to talk about, and stick to that. And the more you post, the more will come naturally, the more people will tend to
100%.
jump online, and then there's a ripple effect.
Like even if you don't get like one like on one post, just post another.
Well, I
then you
always
might
will.
get more on the other, you know, like it. Yeah.
I'll always get one like because my daughter was always the first on there. Not my mom. You know how
cute,
people
yeah.
like your mom.
I wish my
like
dogs could get on TikTok and be like, "Mom, you're doing a great job." Yeah, yeah.
And you, mom.
Yeah.
Mine don't write that, but I'm definitely the first to the top of the page to like. So I always know I'm going to have one like on my post. It's never going to be a complete flop.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, so I could sit here and talk to you all day. Do you have anything that you want to say before you finish up? Anything to anyone that's listening? Because I know, think of this young girl fangirling you right now.
Yeah. I think just be authentically yourselves because that's the best version of yourself.
Even if you're not on social media, just go through life.
Yeah.
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 Amazing. I love that. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I feel so grateful. I really, really do. I may have done a little squeal and dance and
Yeah.
oh my God, just come on the podcast. I think it's amazing. Just like we've never met and we've only recently connected, and it's super cool that I can invite you here, sit on my couch, and now I feel like I've got a friend for life.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I know you,
Absolutely.
right? Like, isn't that so cool? Yeah. And yeah, I can't say how grateful I am, and I am excited to see you in a couple of weeks, which I haven't launched to public yet, but I'm very excited for that. So thank you so much for being a part of the rebrand. Thank you so much for being a voice for so many women, and never change who you are.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Oh, the best. Thanks.